welcome to the Killtocraft podcast. I am Vanessa and this is episode 49. Welcome back. Welcome to all new viewers for spending a little bit of time and checking out the podcast. I hope you enjoy, and if you do, please like and subscribe, and also maybe do the thumbs up thing so that people can find me and see where I am a bit more regular. And thank you to all returning viewers for keep coming back and checking out what I'm making, and keep conversing with me and seeing how, asking questions, checking out my projects and things. So I'm Vanessa and I am Killtocraft on Instagram and Ravelry, and my Ravelry group is also named Killtocraft. You can also find me on my blog, which is www.killtocraft.wordpress.com, and you can also find me on Ko-fi if you would like to donate to the podcast and help me keep producing. And basically the donations help support the podcast for knit-alongs and prizes and any technical software or equipment that I might need, and so on. So all that goes towards the podcast, and I'm really grateful for those who have kindly donated to it so far. Thank you very much. You are a blessing. So thank you. It's really been helpful, massively helpful. And I'm also Killtocraft over there, and I'll put all the things in the down bar. So today's episode is a little bit off the bat. So I'm feeling a little bit right and breezy today, which is great. Taking it steady, but I'm feeling good. And I have a few things to share. So first thing first, I have an FO. This is a 2-year project, guys. So 2 years ago I started these as a kind of like a class workshop, and it was to learn how to crochet socks. I've never crocheted socks before, and basically the pattern was just basically a lounge sock, a plain DC pattern. I enjoyed it, but the pattern was only written for one size, and I think the costs, everybody in the group may have been a different size. They needed kind of adjusting, so I'm finding the right tension for you for them to fit and things like that. The pattern had a hook size, and I ended up having to go to a 5mm hook to get a size that fit. And then I also had to adjust the stitches, because once I'd done that, they still didn't go over my heel. So I took tension off of the leg portion and figured out that I needed to adjust the rib, and had another 4 row ridges on the cuff, and then I picked up another, I think I picked up like 44 stitches. My cat is chewing on my cupboard. Sorry. So yeah, these were a bit of a labour of love. So the first sock that I initially did, I got to here and it didn't fit. So that was really frustrating. And I ended up taking it all the way back to the cuff and adding some extra rows. I then proceeded to do the leg again, and ended up doing the entire foot maybe about half a year later. So I've gotten a bit frustrated and stopped completely. And then the second one happened during the quarantine. So what happened was, I'd finished some other projects and I needed something just that I could mindlessly pick up, and I'd already got the majority of the cuff done, so I ended up doing a little bit more of that, and then I picked up the same amount of stitches and worked down. Partway through my Zoom group, I'd ended up doing some of the crocheted leg and ended up doing it too tightly, so I ended up having to pull that back. But I didn't put them down, I carried on, persevered, and I got through the rest of the foot. So yay, I have a pair, and they both fit really nicely. I showed them on my Instagram if anybody's interested in checking that out, of me wearing the pair. I really love how unintentionally the cuff of the sock doesn't actually match. Like, I didn't end at the same point, but the actual leg is striping in the same manner all the way down to the toe. Like, so they're matching, which is really cool. I don't know how that's occurred, but it worked out really well. I also shared on a vlog, which was in, I think it's the last episode, that I made an adjustment in the way that the cuff was joined to each other, and you can see it here. So I actually pulled back, I actually cut the stitching halfway through the cuff and actually reattached them together in the same manner and just sewed in the ends, so that they're now looking a lot neater, and the edge lays flatter and looks all nice. When I first did that, I had no idea how to do it, and so it looked all buckly and puckered, and it just looked very distasteful. But I finally finished them. I don't know how much wear they'll get, and I don't know how quickly I'll pick up crochet socks again. I think if I do, I will definitely look for a pattern more with sizes. I know that Vicky Brown Designs has some beautiful crochet socks, so I'll probably more likely source some from her in future. But yeah, really happy that I finished them at least, and now I can check out how they wear in comparison to my knit socks, so that's cool. A little bit of fun crafting science. And then onto whips. So I am currently being quite monogamous, so I am working on my Minaret crop, which I started last spring, and keeping this in my Rick Rack room, I think, project bag I got last year. Really like it. It's khaki. I attached a spare handle that I had. I keep some of my markers on here on the D-ring, and I can carry, the strings are so long, I can carry this over my shoulder like just a generalised bag, which I kind of really love. So in here is my Minaret crop, and I will put the colourway down below, but this is a yarn that I got when I was at Pomfest, and the yarn is from Wool Kitchen, and it's a silk and merino 50-50 in this gorgeous like lavendery, it's got like gold and pink pops. It's really pretty. And I am alternating skeins. I bought 3 skeins, and I'm alternating them. I think I put the 200 grams in each of the little pouches that I made to stop them rubbing up quite as much with it being silk. And then the last one I've broken up into 2 50-gram balls, just in case I need any extra at any point. I don't know if I mentioned the designer. So this is the Minaret crop by Christina Danaee, and it is basically a little t-shirt pattern, and on the lower it's a crop, and on the lower portion there's some like twisted rib lace pattern, I believe, and it's got some really like cute, short, floaty, like butterfly-esque sleeves. Butterfly, is that the right term? I can't remember what I'm thinking, but it has really nice floaty sleeves, and they're really elegant looking. I'll try and add a little picture of the pattern, but it's really beautiful. I had spent, like last weekend, I'd spent getting to the separating of the sleeves, and I'd done really well until I realised that actually I hadn't done all of the repeats of the increases. So I did this a long while ago, a good portion of this upper raglan, and I didn't realise that I did realise initially, but when picking it back up again, I hadn't realised that the increases for my size needed to have 10 of this section in, and I'd done 9 and then did some straight. And then I realised when separating that, wait a minute, I haven't got the stitches that I need for my size. And then I realised what I'd done. So I ended up having to pull back a load of rib, pick up my stitches again, and picking up stitches in silk is no joy. So I spent like 2 hours sat there drinking slowly my coffee out of my travel cup, which I have here, and basically just staring into the abyss of stitches for 2 hours, listening to some podcasts, feeling sorry for myself. But really enjoyed it. Once I got it back onto the needles, I was like smooth sailing then. I managed to get that done in another day, just here and there picking it up. And I'm now, I think, about 6 centimetres into the body. I think I've got to go to 13 and then I hit the pattern section. So from my calculations. But I'm really happy with it. It's really looking cute. And I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of this because I like pastels. And I really like lavender coloured pastels. And the fact that it's got little hints of pink, it's just really cheerful. So I'm really happy with this. And I'm using the technique, oh, what's it called? Where you go around part a row to a few stitches before your other strand and then you go around again. Helical. I'm using the helical knitting technique of alternating skeins. And it's working out really smoothly. I have to say that in the raglan section occasionally come to a little bit of a snag where your crossover is where your increase needs to be, but I worked that out and just increased on the next time I passed it, so it wasn't too much of a faff. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. I'm really glad that I picked that back up again, and it means that I might get to wear it this summer, which would be really great. I also have a couple of Progess keepers on here. So my beginning one, I have a dinosaur that Twee sent me of the Twisted Stitches podcast. Hi Twee, I hope you're well. And then I have a cute little Hedwig stitch marker that I purchased. Did I purchase it or did I get it as a gift from Christmas gift maybe? But it's really cute. And then I have my, where I was just before I started today, and I got my little avocado stitch marker, which is from Hannah of Corner of Craft. They're really cool. They're one of my favourites. So it's keeping me going, really enjoying it. And then I have not been knitting on anything else. I've just been really enjoying this and trying to pick this up every now and then. And I found a new way of knitting for me, which is working. So I mentioned a while ago that I used to spend a lot of time procrastinating over my projects and like my cast-ons and not casting on anything for ages because I was struggling with the thought of, am I going to finish this? Will I finish this? And this is how I've been for a few years now. And I found a way to take the load off stress-wise. And basically it is just really thinking, I want this project. And secondly, thinking, get it cast on, because you might not be knitting on it much now, but later when you're in dire need for just picking up anything, like I have been recently, that project will be there and I won't have to feel the weight of picking something new and being like, oh, what do I start? You know? So I have a little plan. Today I'm going to cast on a new project because obviously I'm gaining fastly on finishing this one. So I wanted to start the Ephemeris and let me find it. Ephemeris shawl, which is in one of the Pom Pom Mag issues, number 23. And I know my friend Twee and some of her friends are doing a mosaic knitting, shawl knitting over the quarantine. I'm a little bit behind schedule. But I know they announced it on their Instagram, and so I decided that I'm going to cast on this shawl as mine. And I have the two skeins that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use this midnight kind of blue, sparkly blue, that I bought from Beehive Yarns. It's really gorgeous. This is on a Bardo base, I think. It's a sparkly base. I can't quite remember the colour name, but I'll pop it down below. And I'm going to knit that with the gorgeous birthday cake. More purples and golds and pinks. And this is a hedgehog fibres colourway. I believe this was gifted to me as well, but they go so nicely together and such a beautiful contrast that I think that these will be perfect. I think in person they look a lot prettier. I might have to put up a little picture because they are gorgeous. And I'm keeping that in my newest project bag, which I just bought last week or the week before. This is a treat to myself from having some overtime, and now that my hours have been cut back and I'm now on an 80% kind of wage, I decided to treat myself to a couple of things that kind of cover the fact that I haven't been able to go to like spring into wool and things like that. So I picked up another project bag from Bertie and Poppet. She's my lovely friend Jill, and I really fell in love with these little sheeps with the Aran sweaters, and just the fact that they're knitting and things, it's just so cute. It's the sweetest patterned fabric, like the knitting, balls of wool, it's just adorable. And I really love Jill's bags. They are actually really nicely made. She's got the little handle, they're really nicely padded, so they've got like a batting in there which helps them stand up really well. So I saw this and I couldn't resist it basically. It had me at the word go, and it's been spending time on my desk staring at me every day because it's brightened up my day, it's cheered me up looking at it. Some of the days have been a little bit down and out, and this has just made my day just being able to, like, you know, look at some sheepy friends. So I've housed it in there and I'm going to start that today. So I'm not going to have problems where I'm procrastinating about what to cast on and what to do next. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a cast on party. And then I know that at some point I'm going to finish another project and I can just pick up the next one. And there's not going to be any of that crossover of humming and harring and just feeling like there's a bit of a weighted burden of I don't know what to do. So yeah, that's my decision for future. I'm just going to cast things on. And again, if I don't finish them or don't want to carry on with them, what is the issue with pulling back and just ripping them out? There is no issue at all. So the other thing that I've been working on is, well, I haven't been working on it very much, but I've been doing a little bit of spinning. So I haven't been able to work on my wheel very much. Just a little bit of an issue I'm having, not with the wheel, with me. But I'm basically a bit incapacitated, can't really use it. So I have been picking up my drop spindle again, and I finished a little bit of drop spinning on this sample that I received a while ago from Louise of Spincity. I haven't washed this yet, but I decided to get it spun up. It looks really cute. My idea initially is to maybe do a hand spun blanket at some point, but basically I'm just going to make these into little minis and we'll see what happens. The minis are bringing me joy, and they're like a little easy quick project in between big ones. So that's one of my little samples, and I'm currently on with another sample which is also on my Spincity drop spindle. Sorry, hay fever. Sometimes makes me cough. I'll cut that out. So using my drop spindle from Louise of Spincity, and I'm using some Rowlag from a advent that I got at Christmas from Crooky Creates. It's really gorgeous pink. They came in many different colours. It was one of those kind of it was like, well, it's like an advent calendar, so you get the advent minis, and this was like advent fibre, so you get like a little fibre quantity each day. I picked out day one and started spinning that one up, and it's got like lots of sparkle in. I really enjoyed getting this calendar. Will bought me it as like a treat advent, which he bought me a nail varnish one, I think it was last year. I felt like it's a little bit too much, but he said that it would be a part and parcel of my Christmas presents, so it wouldn't just be classed as a calendar. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I've been doing it a little bit each day, and getting that spun up. I think it weighed 10 grams ish, thereabouts. And I'm spinning them all to roughly a fingering kind of weight. I'm doing them in a chain ply. So a chain ply is like a 3-plied yarn, but you're kind of basically doing a chain. Yeah, you kind of, I don't know if I can show you. So you kind of have the yarn in two, and you put your fingers between the two and pull your other one through. It creates 3, when you bring your hands up together, it creates 3 strands, and you kind of spin them in the opposite direction, creates a 3-ply. So I've been working on that a little bit, and that's been great, giving me a little bit of joy, because I'm missing my wheel desperately, to the point where I've even now been looking at the Eel Nano electric wheels. Initially at Yarndale I was kind of thinking that I might buy an Ashford e-spinner at some point, but the fact that I'm now missing spinning fairly often, I'm thinking that I might just invest in a small little e-spinner, so that I have the ability to still do that when I want in between, since this is like an intermittent problem that I'm having. The other thing that I picked up, I haven't brought the yarn over, but I did buy some skeins of Coop Knits in their 4-ply sock share, and I have posted that also on my Instagram if you want to check that out. But I also picked up a beautiful book. I picked up the 52 Weeks of Socks from a lovely seller, which is Michelle of the Loveliest Yarn Co. So she had pre-orders for this beautiful book, and I really wanted it from the get-go, but initially everywhere just kept selling out like crazy. And then I noticed that she was getting some pre-orders in, and asked if she could pop me one aside, and that I'd pick it up and collect it during Spring Into Wool. But since that's now an online wool show, which you can check out and actually buy from the stalls via, I think it is the onlinewoolshow.com, I actually said to Michelle that I'd get this shipped, and that was fine. So she did that for me, and I got it a couple of days, I think, after Spring Into Wool. I really love this book. It has got some gorgeous photography. I don't want to show you it all, but because I can't, but it's just stunning, and the photography throughout is just as amazing, and it's beautifully laid out. Each pattern is just stunning, and I can't wait to knit from it. I haven't casted anything on just yet, but I am going to. Really want to make one of the 2 coloured designs. I have bought a skein of 2 colours, but then I keep looking at some of them that are 3 colours and thinking that I prefer to do those, so we'll see. I'm still thinking about it, but I'm definitely going to be casting on something very soon from these, so maybe next episode you'll see a sock project. That's really exciting. That book ranged at about £34, I believe, 32 maybe, 32 or 34, and I think the shipping ended up being, I think it was about £9 or £10 to ship, but I ended up just rounding up my shipping to be free shipping with some yarn, which to me just made sense. It was only a few pounds, so why not treat myself? And then it turned up in the post like a little wool show treat, so it was perfect. The other thing that I'm intending on making is a little whale. So I saw this on somebody's Instagram feed, and it's basically a little kit that's from the Aldi, and it's a little whale, and the yarn is a little bit acrylic-y, but it's going to be a little gift for my nephew. Will's mum actually picked this up for me and posted it on to me, because she lives in a place where their delivery will know where she is. My delivery will not, because we're in a really weird location. Sorry. We are in a kind of a strange location where couriers and deliverers do not know where we are, which is really annoying in times like this. However, she kindly picked me this up via their online store and then forwarded it on to me. So I have a little whale project to make, and I'm really excited to do that for him. I just saw it and really fell in love with it and thought, oh, he's gonna love how cute this is. And he's the only person that I'll ever make toys for, unless any other special babies come into our family. But basically, I don't make toys very often for many people because I just find them a bit faffy, but really excited to make this. It's so cute. And I think when you find a toy that you're really excited to make, then you know you're gonna make it. If you're forced to make a toy that you're not so sure about, then it's like, oh. I am sorry. I'm gonna take a drink. Bear with me. So yeah. So that is what I've been doing. I've also been working on a design project that I'm really excited about, and I'm hoping to get that written and getting it, testing it and things, so that at least it can go out during the summer months. I'm hoping, cross fingers. So I think later on today I'm gonna continue working on that for just a few hours. I'm picking it up here and there, a few hours every other day, trying to get a little bit written, and I'm not far off. So cross fingers, soon I'll have a new design out there. And I have been working on it so that it has inclusive sizing, so it should go from a 28-inch to a 64. So it should have a good 10. I have done it as grouped sizes, so it should have 10 sizes. Yes, I'm really excited. I've decided to start working on some of my design ideas a little bit more. Looking back through some of my design sketches that I have done over the years, some of those things have already now been kind of made. So I had a look, and I have a little t-shirt pattern, and the raglan was like extended to the centre, and that's kind of what Kate Davies did for the little sweater, and I even knit that. And then I realised that, wait a minute, some of these that have then been designed and written by other designers, I've actually made them too. So it's really silly. So I've decided to really embrace it, and I'm starting to actually spend a little bit of time here and there actually creating my designs, because they shouldn't be just wasted on pieces of paper waiting for somebody else to at some point make them. It's really silly. So yeah, I have decided to embrace my own designing a little bit more and spread my wings, because it's exciting and I enjoy doing it and I enjoy the processes, and yeah, I need to actually just do it and stop holding myself back, which we all do. Thank you for spending some time with me again. This has been a lovely episode. I don't have anything else to share with you today. I will probably post this up on Instagram, and I'll post the show notes in my Ravelry group if you want to come over, check them out, say hello, maybe ask questions or share what you are up to. It'd be lovely to hear from you. I will put all the details where you can find me, my designs, my Ko-fi, my blog, things like that. I will add them down below with the show notes. And yeah, keep well, keep on happy and caring for yourself, and put on makeup every day if that's what makes you happy, and just look after yourselves. It is a very harsh time. I myself am embracing it quite well. I think I'm taking blessings in the small things and just feeling like this isn't so bad. It could be worse, but I'm quite a hermit anyway, and I don't see many people that often. My best friend actually tends to work in China. She's home in England currently. She's back home, but for the past 2-3 years, my best friend that I spend my time with has been in China, so I don't go out often to see many people. So this just feels kind of like normal to me. I am missing like certain things, like going out for coffees and reading my book, but actually having my coffee indoors and reading in my chair is just as nice and enjoyable, and it's made me realise that I don't need to be going out so often. And maybe I was just going out because of my massive FOMO problem. Like, really do have a fear of missing out on things. Like, it's really bad. I probably spend money just on that issue. Like, I've gone out, needed to get out because I feel like I'm missing out, and I've ended up spending money on things that I don't need. But yeah, so I'm just embracing it a little bit and taking things slow and appreciating the things that we do have. Yeah, which I think is probably the best thing to do. Like, I've gone into this quite positive thinking. I think a lot of people that maybe have gone into it feeling very negative about it aren't doing so well, or aren't adapting as well, because they're looking at the negative aspects of it so much, whereas I'm just glad to be safe, I think is the word. So anyway, thank you for checking me out. Please like and subscribe and share and all that shebang, and please come over and chat, and I will love you and leave you, and see you next time for episode 50. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye.